What is up, everybody? It's Joe from JLW Games coming at you with another cool video back in Planet Coaster in the one, the only Time City. And I made a dramatic change in today's episode. You maybe not notice that the time lapse is sped up by even more than usual. So this time lapse is usually sped up by 8 times. Today, it's sped up by 12 times. Why did I do that? Not to make the episode shorter, because you might have noticed it is actually a longer episode, but I am now doubling the amount of footage in each episode to help get more stuff done, and just in general, we're going to get double the amount done in one episode. So in streams, I usually have been I'd stream it for 2 hours and then call it good for an episode. But now I'm streaming for 4 hours on each episode, starting on this episode here. So we actually was over 4 hours, almost 4.5 hours of footage actually here, which is actually incredible because I just kept going and going, even though we don't get as far as I want to, but because I had to do a lot here with this building. This is the Q building for the monorail station, and my gosh, I think it turned out awesome, because we do the interior and we get most of the exterior done today in this one episode. Now, I know you guys are waiting and are excited for the Dark Ride edition, which we will be working on sooner rather than later, I promise. I keep saying that we're going to keep working on it in the next episode, every single episode, but I'm just trying to fill up those loose ends. I'm trying to get a lot of detail out there. As you all know, if you haven't already seen the video, we're looking at a May 18th opening date for Time City. I'm very excited for that. I'm very confident in that date. If for some reason I still cannot get the park done by then, we will push that. We will delay the park if need be. So think of that more as a goal in mind, more than a definite date, because there's still a lot that needs to be done in order to get where we need to be. It's still 2.5 months out, so I still think we're in a good spot right now, because that gives me about 2.5 months to really get going on the Dark Ride. I'm hoping it doesn't take me that long. I don't think it will take me that long. It shouldn't even take me a full month. It should just take I'd say up to 5 to 10 episodes, a good 5 to 10 episodes probably, which that should be less than a month in all honesty. So once we get that Dark Ride done, we can really focus on finishing all the areas. We'll be finishing up stuff in the sci-fi section. We'll be going back to the Roman section, Apocalypse section, and Jurassic section, and finishing up areas in those spots, before we really get going. So that's kind of the order that I'm going to be going in. So probably by next episode, I'm going to finish up these buildings on the exterior, which shouldn't take too much longer. That should only be about, I don't know, maybe an hour's work, if that. And then we're going to go back over to the Dark Ride and get it going, and hopefully get it started very, very soon. I know I'm going to be working on the queue line a lot for that lately. We'll probably more or less focus more on the queue line when we go back to it very soon as well. Then we'll do the Dark Ride itself, which will take quite a while. So after the Dark Ride is finally done and complete, we're going to go back through all the sections and finish everything up. So that's going to be the idea, and that's going to take some time, but we're going to be finishing everything up, getting all the details done, getting all the extra buildings, rides. We're probably going to add a couple more rides and stuff throughout some sections, and then fill everything up with trees, foliage, everything we need to, terrain editing, everything we need to do, and we'll also go back to the parking lot and finish up the parking lot as well. Again, we're going to be grinding out as much as I can. These episodes are going to at least be 4 hours of footage long at the very least. I could go longer on them. I've gotten a lot of confidence, so I'm always okay with making the episodes longer. I've never had an issue with that, so I just got very excited, and I was like, well, I got a lot of motivation, confidence going in, and I know the season's gonna be starting up, but Time City's future is looking very bright, and excuse me, and I hope you guys are excited as much as I am for this park to get off and going. And I think the longer footage time lapses are just what we needed, because the episodes are going to probably be a little bit longer, probably in the 20-minute range instead of 15 minutes like it has been. And I think that's okay. I think that's a pretty decent spot to be in, and I hope you guys agree, because these are this park's very big, very special to me, and we need to show it some respect and get it done. We need to give it the time it deserves. I've taken probably too much time on this park and not getting enough done. No more excuses. We're going in full blast, and we're going to get all this stuff done. So again, this was kind of a hard piece to get done for me, patience-wise, because there was a lot of... We did the interior and exterior. We didn't move on to anything. We only focused on this building alone. So this will add a lot of theming and everything to the entire the area, because it added that huge detailed building. I don't know exactly what happened here. I was probably busy doing something. Because again, as live stream stuff can happen. My gosh, and sped up by 12 times, so that must have been a long spot right there. But anyways, so yeah, a lot of lighting stuff, and my idea behind all this was I was really trying to get that variety feel. The way I did that was to try and combine some of the sci-fi pieces to kind of make them unique in a way. So I would combine pieces to make like a new piece almost, if that made sense. So for instance, I would place this down and put some smaller pieces on top of it and detail that section to make it look a little different from its regular spot, you know. Some stuff's gonna look a little repetitive, but I think it's okay because we're in the same theme for the entire park. You know, a lot of people don't like making all their buildings look the same. In this section, it might not be a huge deal if a lot of stuff kind of looks similar, because it's really like a sci-fi area, you know. Things are allowed to kind of look uniform, in my opinion. So I don't think there's a problem with that, as long as you give them the building its own characteristics and everything. It could still look very unique in its own right, in their own way. So the hard part with this kind of section, of course, when you do interior like this for queue lines and everything, is that you have to detail every inch of the walls. You can't leave a wall naked or empty, otherwise it's definitely going to stick out, because you know, you're working with sci-fi and everything. There's lots of lights, lots of gadgets, lots of everything around, and you can't leave anything empty. So it makes it very difficult to kind of get that filled in. And you can kind of get stuff filled in kind of easily, and without having to do too much. I think it just kind of depends what you do. So like those wall panels are really nice, and then you can place a couple details on that, and it kind of fills in those walls actually quite nicely for the most part. So, yeah, so this queue line's actually pretty short for what it is. It's probably the shortest monorail station queue line there is. It's still pretty long because it's got a pretty big walkway up to the station itself. I was not very happy with the way the station turned out so far. That's kind of why this building kind of jumps in front of it. We're going to be detailing the monorail station a little bit more as well once we get further and further into more stuff. So anyways, this interior turned out quite nice. I was pretty pleased with it, so go ahead and put that roof on. And then I looked at this like, oh, this is what I have to work with now, is the exterior, which is always fun to kind of get into, because this is just as detailed as the inside. So we don't even finish the entire exterior in this episode. We get almost all of it. So I kind of figured I'd give some tips on how to start building with more detail when it comes to like at least like this kind of. So what I do is I create a basic shape, you know, like a rectangle, square, maybe give it a little extra shaping, you know, just in a gray box, you know. I think it's also called like the gray box method, where you pretty much make a little bit of a shape. You don't worry about details. You just do walls and everything like that. You just kind of shape up the way your building's gonna look, make it look interesting. So add some stuff to it. Don't make it just square. Add some character to your building and everything. You gotta add shaping to it. Shaping's very important when it comes to detailing. If you have a good shape to your building, you know, it's gonna end up looking a lot better. So you'll see later in the video that I actually add more and more shaping to the building to make it look a little bit more unique and give it a little more character as I go along. Of course, we start out on detailing first, but because there's a lot of detailing obviously to do here. And as you can see, the front entrance area I thought was just ridiculous. And so this is where I get a little bit more shaping. I get some round pieces in there. You know, it's sci-fi, so I was like, I think I can fit that in there quite nicely. Don't make it just a square. Make some different levels of building in there, especially for a sci-fi section. And I think it worked quite well. As you can see, the shape of it's actually going to turn out quite nice. I'm actually very pleased with how the shaping of the entrance building is looking. And the detail of these buildings are amazing. I'm going to make all the buildings as detailed as possible. I'm going to try and detail them just like this. I mean, obviously different kinds, but like different kinds of detail, but throughout the entire area of the section, you know. So those buildings that I've already built, they're gonna get a massive overhaul of detail soon. Hopefully this doesn't drop frame rate too terribly much. My frame rate is still pretty good. The game is still playable. It's not too terrible, but those with those low-end PCs, you're gonna probably have issues with this park if you download it. Just keep that in mind, that it's gonna be hard when I open the park, or when I upload it to the Steam Workshop. Don't worry, I won't have any guests inside the park, just to help with your guys' frame rates, and you guys can make adjustments to do whatever you can to make the park work a little bit better. I know it's going to be hard with all the detail that has gone into the park, but sometimes it's nice just to view it. And that's what the cinematic videos are for, it is to get those nice smooth POVs and shots of different rides and attractions within the park that way, because if you open it up on your PC and you don't have a very high-end PC, that's what's going to happen. You're going to get some pretty crappy frame rates, but this park isn't meant to have like the lower end PCs in mind, really, so just keep that in mind. I know if you have a lower end PC, I don't want it to want you to think it's a slap in the face. I just wanted to create kind of almost like a dream park of mine, you know, and that has no limits. You know, there's no limits here. I'm not worried about what DLC I use. I'm not worried about anything. This is my park that I wanted to build, you know, and that's kind of where I wanted to do what I wanted to do with it. You know, this is not a build for you know, for the, you know, thinking of with optimization in mind. You know, it's just thinking of creating an amazing park. That's what I want to make. I wanted to make something that make people go wow. You know, that's the idea of it. And so far, I haven't got to that point where I want it yet in the whole park. I'm just like, it's not a wow factor just yet. When you see you know, you get those different builds in there, and it makes you literally go, holy crap, this is incredible. How did they pull this off? That's the idea that I want to have. That's what I want to have with the park. And it's not there yet. There's still so much we got to do to get it to that state, you know. And I'm excited and I'm very nervous at the same time, because I'm like, I hope this turns out the way I want to. And my building has gotten, it's very evident. If you go back to the Jurassic section, my building skills there compared to now has drastically changed. I mean, it's been a year I've been working on this park, you know, and you'll see it when we go back to the Jurassic section. I'm probably going to make some massive changes to that area to kind of make it more detailed and better than what you have seen, because I'm actually starting to get very comfortable with the sci-fi section style of building. I'm kind of getting comfortable on how I build things now and how it's kind of going so far. So yeah, so I'd love to try and get better in the Jurassic section and get those areas more tidied up and more detailed, kind of like the amount of detail that I'm doing here for some of the buildings. But a Jurassic section is going to be a little bit harder to detail because, again, you're in the Jurassic section. You're not going to have a ton of detail on those buildings, so it's very tricky to get that detail without having too much detail. So we might have to create our own textures or different stuff like that, and it's going to be a chore to try and figure out all the different audio and video stuff that I used in this park, because I'm going to have to put those up for download when I upload it to the Steam Workshop. I haven't done that for any of my other parks yet. Like Westwood's starting to use a couple custom images that I need to get in there, that I need to put up for upload or download for you guys. So Westwood will probably have stuff like that next year, or probably by summertime or something. By the summer, after I make a certain announcement, then I can actually release that to the public. So just keep that in mind of where that's going to go, and I'm constantly trying to update those parks. I know I updated Arrow Valley, which of course I've been doing the Giga supports on that, on the Giga coaster, the Rage, and I'm trying to update that park to look really good. I'm starting to do custom supports because I built that park before custom supporting was a thing, and yeah, so. And then as for custom supporting in this park, Raptor Run's not going to receive any custom supports because of how low to the ground it is, and it doesn't really need it. So I just kind of have that feeling that it doesn't really need it because, again, the tallest point of that ride is literally probably like 50 feet, if that, 50, 60 feet off the ground, and it doesn't really need that extra support or any support to it. It works just fine. As for the Roman coaster, it's pretty low to the ground too. I did do a little bit custom supporting on that. It doesn't need much more. We're doing custom wide supports on salvaged, and then of course we fully custom supported the flying coaster in this section. So we did our fair share of custom supporting in this build. So we've already built our big major attractions. Overall, we just got one left with the dark ride. You guys are excited for the dark ride, and I can say that I'm very excited as well, and it's going to be a challenge, but we'll get it done. Is it going to be the best dark ride in the world? Probably not, but I still want to make it pretty immersive and pretty incredible to look at. Like, I still want it to wow people. I know at the beginning I said there'd be quite a few dark rides in this park, but there ended up only being probably about 2 at the most, because dark rides are very hard to build, and I want to get better at them for sure. And this is a little overview of the park because someone was asking me to get a little overview. So here's a little quick overview at 12 times speed, just for you guys. There you go. Yeah, I hope you didn't blink, because there it is. That's what happens during live stream, stuff like that. So just keep that in mind, that this was also live streamed at the same time. And with that being said, you'll see some kind of fun stuff like that as well. But anyways, we have movie nights coming up for Twitch subscribers as well. If you're not a subscriber on Twitch and you want to help support me, go over to the Twitch channel. You can give me a follow if you don't have anything to support with. You can just follow me. Again, subscription would work differently on Twitch. So links down in the description. You want to check me out on Twitch, and also and get notifications on for when I go live. That way you can watch these episodes live and watch me actually build these in real time, Or you can stick to the time lapses. That's cool as well. Like, not a big deal to me. So anyways, also join the Discord. It's links down in the description as well. If you haven't joined the Discord already, it's a lot of fun. There's no reason not to join the Discord. We can have we have discussions, behind the scenes talks about some of this stuff. And also we talk about roller coasters, theme parks, and everything. Get in on the community. It's a lot of fun. You guys are awesome, and it's a really fun, great community to be around. Nothing to be scared about other than that. We actually have a really great community when it comes to people. We haven't had any issues when it comes to different stuff. So I really highly recommend joining the Discord if you love the channel. So anyways, with that being said, we're almost done here, and I hope you guys have enjoyed it up to this point. Let me know down in the comment section below if you like the longer episodes with 4 hours of footage, and I think it's a lot better because again you're seeing a lot more footage in each episode. It will cut down on the amount of episodes it's going to be. It's going to cut it in half actually, because we're doing 4 hours each at least. This was about 4 hours and 20 minutes on this episode actually. But my minimum is about 4 hours, so I'm still trying to work a lot, and again, I'm getting a lot of patience for this, and it's working quite nicely. And we just kind of get started on the details up here on this top part. This is about the last area we kind of have to detail. There's still a couple areas, but for this building in particular, this took I spent an entire episode on this because it really did make sense and it was worth it, because oh my gosh, these buildings are looking really cool and I'm really excited for them, and I hope you guys are thinking the same thing as well. So again, I just love to hear what you guys think in the comment section below. I'm always trying to make these episodes better and everything like that, so let me know if you like the longer episodes, having more footage, the more sped up footage in this, and I would love to hear your thoughts on that. Also, thank you guys so much for your support over this entire series. You guys have been amazing. You guys are really enjoying the series, it seems like. So I'm going to keep giving them to you, and until this park is fully done, it's going to be exciting. So I just want to, I'm going to keep this park grinding. We're going to keep grinding until we're in a spot that we really need to be. But alright guys, that's about it for this episode. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe for more amazing content like this. And of course, I'll see you guys in the very next episode or live stream, whichever it might see you in next. So make sure you have a great day and an even cooler tomorrow, guys. Thank you so much for joining, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks, and goodbye.